Tom Hanks is big. Big. No, not like that.
Aww.
He starred in this 1988 film about a boy who gets angry at being too small for all sorts of reasons. From being unable to ride the roller coaster to not being big enough to keep up with the girl he likes. The film was directed by Penny Marshall, who in the 70s was better known for starring in the comedy series Laverne and Shirley. She went on to direct numerous reasonably successful films over the years, but this would have been her biggest. It starts out with the young Josh, a 13-year-old boy doing chores and riding his bike in an idyllic setting, as if life for a child is all sweetness and light. We see Josh sitting with his best friend Billy as they enjoy their time together, and they see the girl that Josh likes but is too shy to speak to, which matters later on. There's actually an extended version of this film, with obviously more in it. I thought it funny seeing Billy's family, and his mother, who is played by Frances Fisher, a one-time partner of Clint Eastwood, in a very early part in her career when she is much younger. It's surprising the amount of people you see early in their careers in films like this, who go on to bigger and better things. Josh goes with his family to a fairground, which is when he finds out that being young and small is a problem. He can't get on a ride and can't spend time with the girl he likes. This is when he comes across the Zoltar machine, which is the crux of the entire film, and he goes on to make the fateful wish.
I wish I were big.
And everything kicks off from there, where Tom Hanks takes over. This was in his young, goofy career stage, and he was the ideal pick for the role. Josh confronts his mum, who has no idea who he is, and she panics. It is interesting to note that this mother is played by Mercedes Ruehl, who later won an Oscar for a supporting role in the Robin Williams starring The Fisher King, and again shows how actors work a long time to succeed. Josh runs out and away from his screaming mum and tries to get his friend Billy to help, but takes some convincing who he is. The film is full of side moments that are very funny, such as,
Betty ran away. Wish I could. Want me to pack your bags?
They figure out that the best course of action is for Josh to go to New York, which is an odd choice, but until they can find where the Zoltar machine has gone anyway, which has moved away. They check Josh into a hotel which is cheap, and Billy says to Josh,
What if I can't sleep?
It's probably better if you don't.
They go looking for the Zoltar machine, but find out it will take 6 weeks to discover where it is. So Josh has to find a job, and this is where a lot of the fun starts. Just about to begin his first job interview, he gets,
Your son can wait out here.
While in there, Elizabeth Perkins walks in, shoulder pads and all, and she becomes the love interest for the newly grown-up Josh later on. The humour continues with Josh in his bedsit, watching the film French Connection, with guns firing and noise as he turns the TV off, and it's exactly the same outside. Josh gets paid and we find out he picks up $187, which shows the changes since then, and how happy he is. The boys do what anyone would of that age, and pig out and spend it all on junk. What made the film so good was how Tom Hanks as Josh portrayed himself as a child in a man's body. He could lark around and we could see the fun and innocence in him, which appeared natural and silly in a fun way. As Josh is larking around in the store, he bumps into his boss, Robert Loggia, also known for his role as the General in Independence Day. They walk and talk, and Josh stumbles on a musical floor piano, which creates the most famous scene in the film. Josh goes to work the next day with a remote control car ahead of himself. These scenes all add up to a lot of fun for the audience to share, which is very much of the 1980s itself. It was a fun decade of colour and bubbly music and enjoyment. Another very appropriate scene which shows Hanks as the perfect actor to play Josh is this. And when he comes to a dinner party and steps out of the lift wearing an ancient-style tux, it reminds us why the film was and is so loved, because it is naturally authentic to how it might be and funny with it. There is so much in the film that makes us laugh, and it is all down to Hanks as Josh. He really sells it, silly and funny with it. The connection between Josh and Perkins becomes serious, and is handled about as well as you could imagine for a story about a 13-year-old boy in a man's body and a grown woman. It's funny that Perkins has to explain why she likes Josh so much.
What is so special about Baskin?
He's a grown-up.
Ultimately, Josh ends up lost in being an adult, until Billy confronts him, saying,
I'm your best friend. What's more important than that, huh?
Josh realizes then what he has to do, and the film plays out naturally, but tenderly, as he has to let go of his new life. It culminates in a sweet ending, which is inevitable, but sad and happy with it. A perfect conclusion to it all. It is a fun-filled film, handled well by all, and one worth watching again after all these years. I enjoyed it, and I think you will too. I can happily recommend Big.
Your wish is granted.